through a series on David, and Todd has gone through David the fighter, and he started David the friend. And so this morning I'll be continuing that in David the friend and his relationship with Jonathan. And this morning I'm going to ask you to use your imagination a little bit, so you're going to have to wake up a little bit before we get started. So just to give you a warning, you will have to think a little bit. Okay, so put yourself in Jonathan's shoes. Your own father wants to kill your best friend. But David wasn't just his best friend. David was more than that. David was Jonathan's best friend who was connected to him through a covenant relationship. It was this covenant relationship that caused Jonathan to say, "Whatever you want me to do, I will do for you." So what exactly is a covenant relationship that Dave and John shared, and what makes this relationship so much more special than any other relationships they had? Well, a covenant relationship provides what every other relationship fails to do. It provides your soul to that person. This is important because very few people can do that for you. You can share your life with a lot of people. We're all sharing our lives together. But you only share your soul with very few people. In order for you to share your soul with somebody, there has to be a deep spiritual impact. It can't just be your own life. It has to be something deeper, something that moves beyond the superficial level. Their covenant relationship joined them together, and they shared things. They shared things that no one else could understand. Only John can provide this for Dave, and only Dave can provide this for John. I find this very interesting because Jonathan has nothing to gain from this relationship. Nothing. In fact, by being friends with David, he has everything to lose. Jonathan is the son of a king. He is next in line for the throne. If something were to happen to Saul, John would take over. Because Jonathan knew that God had anointed David to be the next king, he should have seen David as a threat, but instead, he embraced him as his own brother, willing to give up his position as the next king, just so that his friend and brother David could be exalted. How many of you know somebody that would do something like that for you? Someone who would be willing to sacrifice themselves in order for you to be exalted and for you to be pushed ahead. How many of you would do that for somebody else? Okay, so looking around this room, I'm guessing that nobody in here is a prince or a princess. I don't see any crowns, so I'm guessing, to the best of my knowledge, nobody in here is in line for the throne. So when we hear a story like David and Jonathan, we're like, oh, that's a nice, touching story. He gave up his throne, how sweet. We don't really make the connection. So we're going to use our imaginations a little bit and put it into more modern day terms, something that we can relate to maybe just a little bit more. Okay, so I don't know exactly where all of you work, but for the sake of right now and for our imagination, we're saying that you work at the most prestigious company in the entire world. The entire world, and you work there. Now, everyone here at church knows exactly how important you are. They know what you do, they know the kind of power that you have. And let's just say that you've worked at the same important job every single day since the day that you graduated from Harvard or Yale or whatever prestigious school you'd like to pretend that you went to. So you graduated from Yale or Harvard at the top of your class, the best of the best. And that's exactly how you got this job, because only the best of the best can get this job. And from the very first day that you started this job, everyone can tell that you were good. You were very good at what you did. Even as a 22-year-old, everyone was talking about how you were going to be the boss someday because you were that good. Now, this doesn't mean that you didn't have to put a lot of hard work to get where you are. Oh no, you worked very, very hard. You put in more 12, 13, 14-hour days than you even want to count up. You've missed so many of your kids' birthdays that you feel like a bad parent. You've missed countless Christmases and Easters and 4th of July. You name it, you've missed it. It's not that you wanted to miss all of these things, but you literally had to be at work. The company could not function without you because you were that important. In fact, you're probably more qualified to run the company than your bosses. But But it's okay, because your boss is retiring in just 2 short months, and you get to take over. It is finally your turn to get what you rightfully deserve, and you are ready for it. They have been grooming you for the past 3 years to take over this company, and you are ready. You have plans, you have visions, you know where this company is going, and this company will thrive under your leadership. Now, imagine what it would be like if just 2 short months before your boss retires and you get to take over, some Joe Schmo waltzes into the company and somehow manages to get a job. No one has any idea where this dude came from and how he was even let through the front door, much less how he managed to get a job here. I mean, just looking at this guy, you can tell he's going through a midlife crisis and just randomly decided to switch careers. He's in his late 40s, maybe early 50s, you're not really sure. You can tell that he's lived a little bit of his life. He seems like a nice enough guy, and so, I guess you try to befriend him since it is the Christian thing to do. After talking with him for a few minutes, you discover that this guy is an ex-Amish man. Here you are, a Harvard graduate, and this guy didn't even go past the 8th grade. I mean, come on. But, again, the Christian thing to do would be to give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, there is a small chance that maybe somewhere down the road he did have a little bit of experience in this field, and that he would be able to be qualified for this company, even though you doubt it's probably at this level that he should be. So, you ask him point blank, and he proudly tells you that he has spent the last 30 years as a produce stalker at Bueller's. It takes all of your power not to burst out laughing. Is this guy serious? A produce stalker. This guy spent his life putting tomatoes into little meat rows, and he managed to get a job here, the most prestigious company in the entire world. Okay, time out. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with being a produce stalker, but for the sake of the story, we both know that he wouldn't be qualified for this job. Okay, continue. Okay, so now fast forward to the very end of Joe Schmo's first day on the job. As he's leaving, you stop him, look into his eyes, and earnestly tell him, I am so thankful that I met you, and then you embrace. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What? How did you get there? I mean, you just met Joe Schmo today. In the world's eyes, you are up here, and Joe's down there. And you literally have nothing in common with Joe. Nothing. Well, except for this one very small but vitally important thing. You and Joe are both crazy, head over heels, passionate, deeply in love with Jesus Christ. You just met Joe today, and you probably shouldn't even be talking to this guy, but for some reason that you can't explain, you've made this connection with him that is unlike any other connection you have made with anyone in your entire life. Your very souls have been brought together and connected in a way that neither of you will ever be able to understand, and you will never be the same again.